The movie begins with a young, handsome man named Roger who was always lost in his thoughts. He loved big watermelons very much. Whenever a young woman came in front of Roger, he would always fix his eyes on her lips. To soothe his eyes like this, Roger was going to his home to spend the summer holidays. On the way, his mother's maid was with him, who had come to take Roger home. Now, while coming home on a horse cart, when Roger's eyes fell on the papayas with the maid, various thoughts started running through Roger's mind. He began thinking about eating the papaya. Seeing this, the maid understood what was going on inside Roger's mind. At that time, she didn't say anything to Roger. Then both of them reached Roger's house. As soon as they arrived, Roger's family welcomed him. Then Roger's mother noticed a white stain on his pants and asked him, "Where did this white mark on your pants come from?" Roger understood that his ice cream had melted, which caused the white stain. Standing nearby, Roger's aunt remarked, "At this age, this happens often." And with her hands, she began cleaning the white stain off Roger's pants. After this, Roger met his younger sister, whose name was Anna. Anna was happy to see Roger and took him to the forest to show him something. There, Roger saw the same maid who had brought him home. Roger started talking to her, but the maid had to be discreet there. Seeing all this, Roger thought about what all he had to witness at his and then left from there. Roger was wandering alone in the forest when suddenly he slipped and fell into some bushes. There, Roger heard a girl's laughter. He saw that one of the maids from his house, Ursula, was making love to a man. Then Ursula noticed Roger and laughed on seeing him. Seeing this, Roger got scared. He ran away from there and went back home. At night, Roger started having dinner with his family. After finishing dinner, Roger went to his room to sleep. He was feeling sleepy when he suddenly heard the clattering of utensils outside his room. When Roger peeked outside, he was shocked to see his maid Helen busy making love inside the house. Helen was halfway out of a door, and behind her was someone who was loving her passionately. Helen felt Roger had seen her, so she adjusted her clothes and left. Roger's sleep was disturbed again. He also felt like being affectionate, but he still didn't have a girlfriend. Feeling sad, Roger tried to sleep. Just as Roger sat on the bed, his younger sister Anna came in, hiding in his bed. Then Anna started telling him about their Aunt Margaret. Roger asked how she knew this, and Anna replied that their maid Helen had told them. Then Roger asked why Aunt Margaret hadn't married yet, and Anna said she was afraid of men. Roger and Anna both fell asleep after talking. Just then, Miss Margaret came into Roger's room. Roger did not know what her intention was. Margaret immediately came and chased Anna away from there and started looking at Roger very carefully. Roger also started looking at her carefully. Anyway, Miss Margaret went back from there. The next day, Anna takes Roger there. The women of their house used to bathe together and chat among themselves. After a while, Huzula and the other women arrived. Roger and Anna hid behind a tree and started listening to their conversation. On the other side of the river, 3 men were walking. These 3 men also worked at Roger's house. Then all 3 stood there and began drawing water from the river and showed bananas to the women sitting on the other side of the river. Ozula was also about 4 steps ahead of them, so she also started giving those men strange looks to irritate them. All this was being watched by Anna and Roger while hiding behind the tree. One day, Roger's elder sister Elisa came to their house with their father. Everyone was happy to see her and welcomed her warmly. Elisa hugged everyone in the house one by one, but when it was Roger's turn, she only said hello and then went inside. Roger did not understand what was happening to him. Then again, Roger's younger sister Anna came to him and took him to a church to show him something, where their aunt was already present. Anna and Roger listened to their aunt's conversation from the roof. She was confessing her sins to the church priest. Then Aunt Margaret told the priest that she had committed a great sin. The priest asked, shocked, "What sin have you committed?" Margaret then told him, "My nephew Roger came home a few days ago, and since I saw him, I have gone madly in love with him. Several times in my dreams, I have made love to him." Roger, who was sitting upstairs, was also listening to all this, and a feeling of love for his aunt grew in his heart. Roger thought that in this house, Margaret is the one he could love. Love for his aunt arose in Roger's heart because he had never loved anyone before. This was his first love. Roger could not control himself and fell down straight below. Roger fainted. After this, the priest and Margaret took Roger home and told his mother everything. Upon hearing the priest's words, Roger's mother became angry and asked the priest what punishment should be given. Roger's mother also liked this idea. She said to the priest, "Great plan." Then Roger's mother told his Aunt Margaret that she would carry out this blessed work. Margaret initially refused, but under Roger's mother's pressure, she agreed to do it. Poor Roger endured all this. At night, Roger was sleeping on the bed upside down because both his buttocks were swollen. Then he again heard the sound of pots clattering outside the room. Roger saw it was Helen, who had someone behind her who was in love with her. And this time, too, Roger didn't find out who that man was, the one who used to secretly show love to Helen every day. Meanwhile, Mr. Frank was also standing there, feeling happy seeing Helen. A little later, the maid Ursula came to Roger and said, "You must be in a lot of pain from today's. Come, I'll apply some balm under your back." But Roger was more curious to know about Helen. He asked, "Tell me one thing. I keep seeing someone secretly loving Helen every day, but after showing love, that man just leaves. Who is this great man?" Ursula replied, "That's the top secret among us maids." And with that, she walked away. Roger was thinking everyone here was in love with someone, but when would his day come? Then he remembered Mr. Frank was also looking at Helen, so he went to meet Mr. Frank in his room. There, Roger saw Mr. Frank with his hand in his pants, looking at something in the sky through a telescope. Mr. Frank got scared seeing Roger and left. After they left, Roger tried looking through the telescope and saw two people secretly in love outside. Seeing this, Roger thought, "This Frank guy is an even bigger lover than me." Then Roger found a book there filled with many love stories. He hid the book inside his pants and left. While leaving, Roger heard a voice and peeked inside the hole. Just then, Elisha's fiancé Ronald arrived and caught Roger spying. Roger begged him, "Please don't tell my parents anything. I'll do whatever you say." Ronald took advantage of this moment and made Roger clean his car. The next day, Roger was hiding in a stable reading Frank's love stories book. While reading, someone touched his clothes and he was about to get caught by a servant, so he hid in a room. A little later, Helen came there to feed the animals, but the servant trapped her and started making love to her. Helen had already fallen for the game, so she called Roger for help. But when Roger came to help, Helen refused. Actually, Helen was enjoying playing her own game. Roger went outside to see the man who had trapped Helen, but before he could reach, the man had already left. After that, Roger went inside his house, where his elder sister Elisha and her fiancé Ronald were sitting. Ronald told Roger, "My shoes got really dirty, clean them properly." But Roger refused. Ronald got angry and told Roger's mom everything about that night. After hearing everything, Roger's mom got very angry and said, "My two daughters are very good and I have given them good values, but this scoundrel, don't know where he came from." Then Roger's mother told Roger to go outside. Before going out, Roger had exchanged Frank's book with his sister's book. Now, when Roger went outside, he secretly saw his sister reading that book. Roger noticed that Alicia was experiencing an intense pleasure after reading that book. Roger's heart started to yearn for love. He didn't know what to do. Then he remembered that Ursula would help him, so he went to Ursula, who was working in the kitchen, to confess his love. Seeing her, Roger couldn't control himself, and without saying anything, he grabbed Ursula. Ursula thought he was a servant from their house, but when Ursula saw that it was Roger, she felt very sorry and quietly agreed to love him. They were about to begin their love when at that moment a chubby maid arrived, and seeing her, Roger ran away from there. Roger wanted to find his love, but he could confess to anyone because he was possessed by the spirit of love. Suddenly, Roger remembered Miss Lapete, who had brought him home. Roger decided that he would go and confess his love to Miss Lapete. He was fully confident that Miss Lapete would not refuse his love. He ran and reached Miss Lapete and confessed his love. At first, Miss Lapete thought something was wrong with him, but she too needed love, so she agreed to love Roger. A little later, a postman came shouting and told everyone that war had broken out and Germany had declared war on France. Hearing this, everyone gathered there, and Roger again failed in his love. The next day, all the men in Roger's family had to go to war, so everyone started celebrating. Then Mr. Frank came and told everyone that he could not go to war because he had asthma. When Roger realized that all the men were going to war and all the women would be left alone at home, he was so happy that he started dancing. There was a custom in France that whenever all the men in a house went to war, the night before, all the men would go into the forest with their wives to make love. So that night too, all the men went to the forest with their wives to make love. Watching all this, Roger thought that after these people leave, our fun would begin. The next day, all the men went to war. Roger first went to Ursula, where he trapped Ursula in the net of his love and started enjoying himself. The next day, Anna told Roger that their mother was going to confess something in front of the priest, so they should go and see what sin she had committed. On the other side, Roger's mother was telling the priest that her husband made love, but she also enjoyed making love very much. Sometimes she felt like she might be committing a sin. To this, the priest said that she could do anything with her husband. Doing this was not a sin. In the evening, Roger's maid Kate was sitting by the riverbank when suddenly Roger emerged from the water like a hungry crocodile and started making love to Kate. Doing this gave Roger more confidence, so he began planning to make love to all the women in the house. At night, Roger went to his Aunt Margaret's room and lay down on her bed. After a while, Margaret came in and was shocked to see Roger. Roger then said, "I have come to help you." Margaret felt that Roger needed love, so after kissing him, she too became like a hungry lioness. Both of them enjoyed passionate love. After some time, Helen came in with tea, but this time no one was there to pull her aside and make love because all the men of the house were away at war. Helen went inside Roger's room and gave him the tea. As soon as she was about to leave, Roger suddenly grabbed her from behind and started giving her medicine for her illness. The next day, Roger saw his elder cousin's sister, Elisa, going towards the stable. He followed her and saw Elisa feeding the horses grass. Roger pounced on Elisa and also started giving her medicine. At first, Elisa refused, but then she began to enjoy it and accepted Roger's medicine. Now, Roger was having a great time because he was giving medicine to all the women in the house one by one and curing their illnesses. Every day, he made love to someone. One day, after giving medicine to Elisa, she told Roger that she was pregnant, which shocked him. The war had ended and all the men were returning home. Roger was sitting at home wondering how to get rid of this situation. Suddenly, Ursula arrived and told Roger that she was also pregnant. Then after a while, his Aunt Margaret told him she was pregnant too. Roger started thinking that he needed to do something, otherwise everyone would find out about his deeds. If his mother found out, she would beat him badly. To avoid this, Roger brought some red nail polish and went to Elisa. He applied nail polish on Elisa's bedsheet and told her, "Call Ronald and make love to him tonight." After that, he went to his Aunt Margaret and told her to marry Mr. Frank because he loved her very much. Hearing this, Margaret agreed to marry him. Then he went to Ursula and proposed marriage. But Ursula refused because she liked another man. Now all three women had got married, and no one knew that the babies they were carrying were Roger's. No one had any idea about the trouble Roger had caused behind their backs. That very night, Roger once again gave medicine to Helen. A few days later, Helen also told Roger that she was pregnant. Roger's holidays were over, and he was leaving home to go. Before leaving, Roger told Helen, "I will arrange a husband for you too." Helen replied, "There's no need for that. I will handle it somehow." Hearing this, Roger came to his senses and left. And with this, the film ends here. So friends, I hope you liked this movie. Please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. Until then, see you in the next video.